Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, which at this moment it's caught up with everything except XCOM 2. And I already started Jedi Fallen Order gameplay series, and I updated everything here on the playlist stuff here on the channel here. So feel free to browse around. I don't know when I'm going to change this, because I have a lot of playlists here, maybe from genre or something like that, but I think I need a couple of more of them to sort it out in terms of game playlists. And of course got some stuff here from tutorials. Some of them it's a little bit old, but I will leave it just in case it might be useful for anybody. But yeah, not much happening. Day is Monday. Again, the main thing is still going on, and I think in terms of hardware news is going to be the launch of the 40 RTX Super Series or Super variants. And it seems that there are some information here on some websites on American retails like Newegg, B&H Photo, Best Buy, and everything. Similarly, where there are prices available for I assume like reservation or something like that. I don't know exactly how it works there. Similarly, the prices are very close to MSRP, which okay, but yeah, it's similarly there is some variance, of course, with AIB cards, but at this moment in time, because the first one is going to be launched, the 4070 Super, but then again, I'm still waiting for the reviews to come out. I think the first one is on January 17, the 4070 Super. Again, usually I watch for Gamers Nexus and Hardware Unboxed, usually for in-depth reviews from usually they for sure will compare the performance increase regarding the 4070, and of course how the price is slotted regarding the competition and everything. They usually do a very good analysis there, and of course I assume will be the same for the 4070 Ti Super, which is the most interesting one in the kind of in the middle range, which is like $850. Which is insane, or supposedly it should be $800 the MSRP. It's the most interesting one, mainly because of the VRAM upgrade and the fact that it can't, I suppose it can start doing some 4K gameplay there for some games. And of course the 4080 Super is very interesting, mainly because of the price and how it's going to be compared with the 7900 XTX. Again, I didn't see anything regarding AMD if they're going to update their prices, especially on the XTX and the 7900 XT. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, because yeah, this one staying like this, even if it usually Founders Editions, the inventory is not that much, but 1050 it's okay-ish. I think it's like in that $50 range. I think it's okay at the price point at the $1,000, $50 doesn't make a huge difference there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how AMD is going to move around, and if eventually during this year they're going to announce like or refresh like a 7950 XTX or 7950 XT or something on those lines, or they're going to only touch the prices there to make it more competitive with the prices that NVIDIA is putting out. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Again, I will keep my eyes on the reviews when they come out, and I will let you know regarding my opinion if it is good or not to take a chance there. But yeah, it's what we got. Still waiting. It's a lull. January is always a lull, but yeah, it got interesting with the launch of these GPUs. Interesting enough, I spoke about a few days ago regarding DisplayPort 2.1. There is like ultra high bitrate. I think it's called what it's called here, 20. yeah, the naming scheme of this one is a little bit confusing even for me. But yeah, the only one that now it supports this one is from the Gigabyte monitors, especially the Aorus series, which is like the high end. It is the 32-inch quantum dot OLED panel, which is from Samsung. It's a Samsung display, which usually are pretty good. It needs a true 4K, so it's a 16:9. Yeah, it handles that kind of connection, and even the supposedly has yeah, this HDR 400 True Black. This is yeah, this is not true HDR. I think from what I can perceive, minimum it has to be 600 to make a difference on HDR here. But one of the things that interests me a lot on the OLEDs is usually the DCI and the quality of the colors. Like the gamut and all that jazz from the get-go. Usually they don't need like a lot of calibration regarding that, and the fact that the response time is basically instant. There is practically no delay and basically almost no ghosting from what I understand. It's the most interesting thing regarding OLEDs as a gamer, and also as a kind of soft or beginner content creator to a certain degree. If I know that at least the colors that I'm seeing are already basically out of the box kind of accurate, I think it's pretty good. But yeah, it's one of the things that I didn't understand very well. But yeah, the specification DisplayPort 2.1 UH the BR20. Yeah, there is no GPU that can handle this, which is basically 4K 240, which is the frequency of this monitor. Yeah, unless I think there is, I'm not sure if this display can handle like 1440, like 360 or something like that, which is part of the capabilities of this connection. But yeah, 4K 240, it's not even a 4090 at this moment in time, at least that I can perceive. And to a certain degree, the GPUs cannot handle that to a certain degree. I'm not sure, depending on the game, of course, but I don't know if it is because to a certain degree of CPU limitations. I've been hearing about some videos here and there, especially from digital foundries, seemingly in some high frame rates capabilities are very dependent on the CPU and the fact that they cannot even increase more. And of course the engines themselves usually are not at least the older ones are not prepared to get that higher FPS, except for example you have Rainbow Siege and the Counter-Strike ones that they can theoretically almost go to 1000 frames, but I think it's an overkill there. But then again, I think in terms of fluidity, like the sweet spot for me, it's like 4K 90 frames. You can tweak a little bit the settings there to achieve that, but I think it's a good one. I think people are too dependent on the numbers, and but yeah, minimum for me, or at least kind of the sweet spot at this moment in time, is 4K 60. But even with this IPS, the Gigabyte that I have, the M288U, I'm really satisfied. The only thing that will make me jump to OLED at this moment in time is if the burn-in question is resolved to a certain degree, for them to be hanging on, so I can hang on and have kind of an assurance to a certain degree that it will last a minimum 5 years. At this moment in time, they can guarantee they can last 5 years, but it's still a question mark in terms of longevity of the OLED and the technologies that they are implementing here, mainly because of the color fidelity out of the box usually from OLED monitors, and the oh my god, the response time of them. It's one of the things that will make me jump, if any, and the fact that I can afterwards put this monitor that I have at the moment as a secondary monitor. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll see regarding reviews of specific monitors that were announced on CES. For that, usually I trust the reviews from Hardware Unbox or monitors unboxed. It's the same people there. But yeah, usually they do a very in-depth and you have a good perception of the features and if it's good or not depending on the price. You get a very good impression on that. And lastly, in terms of technology, we got here supposedly Chinese developed a nuclear battery that will last 50 years lifespan. Again, this is a very small battery. It's like smaller than a coin. Mainly this is I think it's aiming for clocks. Like for example, we have a clock that it's battery run. It's something that can be implemented on this one, even though this the one that they are announcing is a very low wattage, which is like only 100 microwatts at 3 volts maximum, and supposedly can handle this for 50 years. Again, this is a nuclear in the sense that doesn't use plutonium, of course, like first generations, let's say, of nuclear batteries. This has a nickel 64 isotope and a diamond semiconductor material as between layers there. They are layered in that way. And when this nickel isotope like degrades, it degrades on normal copper, so it doesn't continue to be like a environment hazard there. But yeah, this is aimed for very at this moment in time very small things. 100 microwatts at 3 volts. I don't think it will handle maybe at this moment in time like some clocks. It's what I've been seeing, the huge usage of this kind of batteries at this moment in time, even though they are planning launching a watt version by the next year. But yeah, we'll see how will that go. Basically, they are the only company at least focused on this one, even though we have like nuclear powered batteries for industrial use. From what I understand, you got these ones with other kind of isotopes there, and usually it's they have, of course, high power levels and longer service lives. But then again, this is for personal use, so it has to be very safe. So even if suppose the case can even be shot at it and it will not leak any kind of harmful radiation. But yeah, it's interesting because it can also operate in supposedly conditions between -60 to 120 degrees Celsius. But yeah, it's very interesting how they're going about it. You got kind of diagram here, you got the layer of the isotope there, and then from the diamond. This they managed to do this because of how they can manufacture the diamond semiconductor layers there. It's like 10 microns. This is very thin, like 5 millimeters, if that much. But yeah, it's interesting, this kind of technology, because in a few years, if everything goes well, you can potentially have let's say a cell phone that doesn't need to be charged. It's very interesting, that concept. You have basically, even for example, a tablet doesn't need to be charged because the lifespan is like 50 years. It will outlast the longevity of the device itself. But it's very interesting. But even at this moment in time, these batteries can be similarly plugged in serial, so we can have last a little bit longer, or power a little bit more powerful objects or devices, which is interesting because it's very small, the battery itself, like 1.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters, and then 5 millimeters height, from what I understand. Yeah, 15 millimeters by 5 millimeters here. Yeah, so 1.5 centimeters. Yeah, not even an inch. Yeah, very interesting technology here. Oof. I don't know where this is going to, but you have some devices that don't need charging, and it can last a lifetime. It's always good, even if you put it like in second hand. You don't need. Will make basically battery technology obsolete to a certain degree, because if you can make it this safe and long lasting, you will not have the need to, for example, to have the replace batteries unless there is like a malfunction on the battery itself. But the fact that supposedly how this works, it's very interesting. And I don't know if this is going to be applied, for example, let's say for cars in, I don't know, 10-15 years. I don't know if it's possible, because in electronic devices there's always going to be some forces that are going to be always planning for planned obsolescence on devices, and even like cars, if you imagine that. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this kind of technology is evolving, and I will, if I see something more interesting around this kind of a thing, I will let you know. And basically this is it for this for today, guys. I'm just going to present you some they are repeated. There hasn't been a lot of new gaming deals, but yeah, they are pretty good. We got Firewatch 90% off. It will end in a few hours. We got the Plague Tale Innocence and Requiem. You can buy individually within gaming deal, or you can buy as a bundle also, so that they are pretty cheap here. You got Cocoon. It's still on until the 18th, 30% off. Pretty interesting puzzle game. And you got the Bioshock collection. Yeah, 18th of January also, so 80% off on all of them. Again, I'm not sure how much it is, because I already have Bioshock Infinite on my library. But yeah, the first two are the remastered versions, and you got Bioshock Infinite, and you got all the DLC associated, 80% off. I think it's pretty good. On GOG you got still Limbo and Inside, from the same developers. They did both games here. Got also Deus Ex, the first one, the Human Revolution Director's Cut, which is the only version available, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided Digital Deluxe Edition, which has all the season pass stuff there, which is good. 85% off, very good price there. And we got, I found this one, Batman Arkham Knight. I didn't see any of the other two games there, but yeah, we got this as a standard edition, and we got the premium edition is not. I think the premium edition brings the DLC stuff, but at least the base version brings you. It's a lot cheap. And lastly, we got Wolfenstein. This is the 2-pack, which is the New Order, which is one of those that I did. One of those games that I did. One of the first. I think it was the first game basically that I did a gameplay through. And you got Gold Blood, which is the prequel to the New Order, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of history-wise, but it was launched later. And of course, then you have Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus, but it's not on this 2-pack here. And it's 75% off, so $7.50 for the two games. I think it's a very good deal. And yeah, basically for a very calm Monday on regarding news. But yeah, it's what I got here for today. I will just going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support, and that extra support at this moment in time is for storage, for me to be able to get backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, Kunamy Master out.